Okay, as usual, right out of the gate, mic check. How's this sound? I messed with it a bit for this game and played with some of the settings in OBS. But otherwise, this is Vagrus, the Riven Realms. I had an option right at the beginning to click off, do the intro, and so I clicked that off right away. I think I'm just gonna... This looks like a complex game. I watched the game trailer, and thematically it's kind of right up my alley if you've been on the channel. Yeah, Shadow Seer right there. I see we seem to have a thing for desert games. Okay, let's just dive right in. This is before we get going, especially if you're catching this video after the fact and you manage to watch, click right up to the 5-minute mark where the video starts. This game is extremely narrative, so there's going to be a lot of reading. If you find my voice monotonous or unbearable, now is the time to click off. But here we go. Oh, and be forewarned, even if we're in the middle of a awesome story moment, I'm pretty sure the game doesn't move unless I move, so I have to go early. I have to go get the door. I ordered something. But I'll be right back. Okay, jumping in, new game. This choice cannot be altered. Wasteland mode. This is the way Vagrus was intended to be played by the developers. The setting is a cruel, harsh, unforgiving place, and so the game will not pull any punches. Expect a steep difficulty curve and little to no handholding. Save often, because you will probably run into dead ends and deaths from time to time. Dissonance mode. Tailored more towards a next wasteland it is. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. From Ozymandias by Percy, gonna butcher that, Bish Shelley, 1818.
Ah, yes. A Vagrus. What a profession. Daring and savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity, and of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh? And you are a Vagrus too, are you not? Many of your kind have I seen in my long life as a vagabond. Care to listen to a story about your exquisite occupation, good master? It is a tale of woe and terror, but it is also a tale that is true, as I have seen it with mine own eyes.
Did we play Pilgrims of the Wasteland? To me, that's kind of like probably a tutorial. Skipping it.
Fair enough, good master. Fair enough.
This is going to be
rough. You don't
rough.
want to hear tales of trusts betrayed and of bad decisions? It makes sense to me, with you also being a Vagrus and all that. Tell me, have you been long at it? And where do you come from? It is not often that I can talk to one of your kind.
Create your Vagrus. Oh boy. Okay, we have select your race. Human Imperial. Religion, savvy. I don't know what this... this has a lot of reputation, it looks like, with, I'm gonna guess, Imperial and Imperial Trading House. Okay. House Venaria's old institution. Again, we're waffling through this. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for here. Just kind of feel it out. Human Tarkian. Ark has long been a problematic yet prosperous province of the Empire. So we have persuasion, savvy, and awnings equipment. Human Dodge Maha, the land of endless rain. Descendants of ancient Senrak have lived mostly in fractal tribes. Survival, tough, and jade figurine item. Just sell that right off the hop. Human Kalani, Dwarf, Half-Elf, Orc, Dark Elf, Demonkin. Look fairly human. I'm gonna go with Human Imperial. Just We'll keep it plain and simple for now. Select your background. Veteran, adventurer, aristocrat. I'm going to go with veteran. What is priest imperial? Now that's interesting. You used to study and practice imperial religious dogma. Ooh, we get a lot of church reputation for whatever that's worth. And you used to serve in a military fighting force, fighting for a cause or for coin. I think we're going to go with veteran. Healer feels right, but veteran might be worth it. Like, healer feels right because if it's a difficult game, if it's as difficult as advertised, I think having the main character able to kind of prop up the rest of the team. Maybe we'll be able to hire one. I think there's a lot of hiring that goes on. So we're going to go with veteran. Select your calling. You're a traveling merchant, a nomadic trader interested in transporting goods, news, and people to the faraway reaches of Empire for profit. We get plus 2 slaves, 2 workers, 1 extra storage, 3 beast lures, and we get some more reputation, it looks like. Resourcefulness to turn march points into movement points on the campaign map. Okay, hold on. Let's look at these callings before we really commit to a race. So mercenary. This one, for instance, you're the captain of a mercenary company that seeks to work dangerous jobs, hunt bounties, or even raid camps and settlements. This calling is geared towards armed conflicts and starts with a larger fighting crew, which results in higher upkeep. Therefore, we only recommend choosing mercenary for more experienced players. Okay? And explorer for more experienced players. We will start with trader and the traverse perks. So let's take a look back. It uses resourcefulness. Who has a lot of resourcefulness? The adventurer does. And yeah, we'll go with the adventure. 1 survival. You used to travel a lot and sought adventure everywhere. And we'll go with trader, just to utilize the resourcefulness bonus here for this. Turn march points into movement points on the campaign map. Again, I'm just trying to osmose as much information as I can here. Select your ambition. Renown. Free play. No victory condition. You can only win the game if you change your ambition later through options in a story. Let's free play. Let's just get to know the game. You know, I don't think... Alright, let's choose wealth. Okay, allocate perks using your starting insight. Increase authority. So I have 10 insight, and I can allocate perks. Oh boy. We have traverse right now. What is exploit? You can use your resourcefulness to re-roll available contracts. Okay, hold up. That took 4 insight points right away. We have 4 resourcefulness and 1 authority. Authority dictates how many assigned deputies you can have at any given time. Authority also makes your companions more tolerant with the decisions you make. The higher authority, lessening the loyalty losses for companions. That's not a 1-for-1 either. That's... Oh, okay, there's the value right there. I can't increase resourcefulness because it costs 10 points. As their levels go up, it requires more insight to level them. That checks out. Evaluate. I like evaluate. Seems very tradery. And savvy. Used in events, relevant test chances, requirements, and in companion progression. That took us down 2 as well. Perceptive. Charismatic. Maybe we'll stick with professions here for a sec. Religion. Knowledge about beliefs. Persuasion. And we're trying to make this guy as much of a traitor as possible. You are skilled in threatening others into doing your bidding. No, I don't think we'll go that route. I think maybe I'll dump the last one into persuasion. Okay. Yeah. Tons to negotiate. So I think that's all useful. Select a portrait and name your Vagrus. Or generate one. Male. Caius Farvo. Menius Vocarius. Primus Ribus. Tiberiopolis. Cassius. Gelio. Clovis. Lucius. Tiberio Maximus. That is the one. Okay, so character bonuses, just a quick recap. 1 evaluate, 1 religion, 1 savvy, 1 survival, 1 traverse. Resourcefulness, we have reputation with these houses and with these alliances, and I have no idea what that means. Probably means whether or not they're willing to trade with me, if I had to guess. Slaves, workers, extra storage equipment, beast lure. Lures prepared to attract all manner of predators. Ideal to lure beasts away from you or into a trap, even. Confirm your choice.
Curious, curious. I am humbled to have made your acquaintance, good master. I am sure that many great adventures await you on your journeys. It was an honor talking to you, good master, but these old bones are aching, and I must rest now. Oh, yes. Perhaps we will talk in the morning. Perhaps
I feel like this is going to be a painful learning curve. Sleep slowly but steadily begins to overwhelm you. Is it the late hour, the exhausting journey, or the mesmerizing voice of the old man? You faintly recall stumbling to your tent and crawling inside. Then it is only darkness. Okay, we can click on photos. That's pretty cool. Morning creeps up quietly on the arid wasteland. You wake up and step out of your tent and into the crisp air, yawning, stretching, and blinking in the orange light of the rising sun. The fiery orb's warm rays are welcome in stark contrast to how you will all feel in a few hours. Your crew, groggy, still after an early start, shambles around camp, busy with their chores. Some of them are still huddled around their dying fires. You look at the horizon to the north and find it empty against the morning haze. Yet you know that beyond that jagged line, the way station of Kernak awaits. A short stop on your way to a proper city, less than a week of trudging through the plains, and you reach Torzag's shelter. You hope to rest there and find much needed work. In fact, this was the reason you took the Comitatus north, to Terra Supra, the lands beyond. New opportunities. The previous Vagrus of this traveling company perished several weeks ago, and even though you worked for her only for a few months and are indeed quite new to this wandering business, the crew elected you to take her place because she trusted your abilities. Morning, Vagrus. One of your guards walks up to you and draws you out of your reverie. That old geezer you talked to last night is about to leave and wanted to say goodbye before he does. You nod and head to the campfires. You find the old storyteller in the process of packing his meager equipment while whistling a tune. Let's look at some stats here. Movement, morale, okay. Compliant. How long the currently available supplies will last. 9 days. Defensive power and combat strength. Max cargo, okay. Deputies, it doesn't look like I have any. Chart. Interesting. Oh, I like this. Kind of like a bulletin board inside your caravan. Okay, so we're kind of here. Awesome. I don't know if this is a slice of the map, if this is the whole map. I wonder if this is go-to or Southern Jagged Waste region. Wonder if this is map markers or highlights. That's everything, then it breaks it down. Okay, talk to the old man. Thank you for coming, good master, the old man says, still fiddling with his sling bag. I will not go to Torzag's shelter with you. My path leads elsewhere. I'm grateful to you for letting me travel with your comitatus. Ah, yes, and I hope I've earned my keep. Because he had no coin, nor anything of value when you came across him in the middle of nowhere 3 days ago. You allowed the old man to travel with you and eat from your stores in exchange for entertaining your crew with stories along the way. And true enough, no hour has passed since without a tale being recited by the strange fellow. He even made an effort to entertain you while sitting at your campfire last night. Be that as it may, you allowed him to tag along as an act of kindness. The old man turns to you and smiles innocently. I may be able to repay you more properly by giving some advice, aye? If you don't mind me saying, good master, you are only starting your venture as a Vagrus, and, perhaps you could use such wisdom? Let's get some advice. Just what could a touch of advice hurt? All right. First off, there are a lot of rumors going around in a city as great as Grim Torzag, but even in smaller settlements too. Listen to these, for there's often truth to such talk, and gossips can guide you to business opportunities, valuables, or interesting places. Often, fresh news is the most valuable commodity you can possess, especially until you have a sizable cargo hold to haul large amounts of goods across the wasteland. If I were you, I'd find some work as soon as possible, preferably something your crew can manage without much difficulty, perhaps from one of them trading houses. You could also find some passengers who are willing to pay for the security of your comitatus. Can provide, yes? Almost every mancio has folk looking for traveling companions. The old man scratches his scraggly beard thoughtfully. Before setting out, it is best to decide what your destination will be and prepare accordingly. Wandering around aimlessly in the wasteland is a sure way to get killed or to starve, good master. Yet, one's chances are better when the burden can be shared with trusty companions. I'd start looking for such folk as soon as I'm in a big city. There's a man I know in Torzag, now that I think about it, who could help you with such matters and more. You tell him you are listening. The chap is called Braxius. Strange fellow, really. Not only because of his peculiar lineage. You'll see. He runs a shop. Ah, yes. He'll buy any trinket off of you that you do not need any longer. He may sell you something useful too, who knows? I'm just remembering now. He once sold a Gavranian wood talisman to an orc mercenary who... The old man stops abruptly when he notices the expression on your face. He smiles apologetically. Where was I, good master? Ask him where you can find this man called Braxius. Oh, aye. Braxius' shop, just east off the Calrish Market in a small street that has a dark stone statue of Mercatus over a fountain. Best of luck. Irafons be with you, good master. I'd better go now. You thank him, you tell him to get lost and return to your duties. You thank him and wish him well, then take your leave. You watch the old man as he walks away, alone into the wasteland. It is time to set out. Torzag's shelter is waiting, but before that, it would behoove you to visit Kernak Way Station, only about a day's travel to the north. You could obtain much-needed supplies and news there, maybe even find work. Who knows? You set out across the wasteland, so we need to go, what am I looking at here? Day's travel to the north, Kernak Way Station. Okay, hitting WASD is not the answer, is it? No, it certainly is not. Maybe we can't move. Maybe this is all we can see. So we know Kernak Station's up here. I'm just going to go right ahead and camp, acquire supplies, scout. Let's try some of this stuff. Let's, okay, movement right up there at the top. We can go right for Kernak. Let's do that. Now, I'm willing to bet that each one of these junction points that you have the potential to get ambushed. So enter, camp, scout. We're going to enter. The Comitatus descends into the great basin that shelters Kernak Way Station from the worst of the jagged wastes, dust, and rock storms. Even at this distance from the walled compound, you can see that the outpost is vastly overcrowded. Dozens of Komitati and literally hundreds of travelers swarm the confines of Kernak Station, which is now surrounded by makeshift camps and improvised mancios. What is going on here? You arrive at the gate. A pair of gruff-looking mercenaries walk out to meet you and give you a half-hearted hail. The first one to speak is a tall, lean, tainted fellow armed with a barbed spear. Gotta say, you folk just keep popping up like wraiths around a rotten corpse. He sighs heavily. Alright, move your ass over there and try to settle in without a fuss. He points to a large area outside of the low stone walls, just northwest of the way station. Ask what's up with his attitude. Yeah, let's get a little... Wow. Hold on, let's get a feel for what's going on first. Comply quietly. You nod to the mercenaries and lead the Comitatus to the designated spot. The crew strikes camp and everyone is settled in after a quarter of an hour. Time to explore. Okay. So isn't this cool? Sheltered in an arid basin. A lot of... it's funny that the base building game in Kenshi I streamed yesterday, we settled in a basin, an arid basin. Okay, stories. We have the guarded compound. Let's see. Market. So we only have, when I checked, 9 days of supplies. I'm not sure if we can use anything in particular. Let's see if we can find some rumors. So Mancio, this looks like maybe where we hire people. So right now, this looks like my crew. I have 7 fighters, 2 scouts, 5 workers, and 8 slaves. I have no outriders. Okay, cool. How much are these guys? Requires 1 mount and 1 fighter. Interesting. I do have 2 mounts. Oh, but then I lose. Each riderless mount carries 7 cargo. Interesting. I can butcher them. Cool. Cargo. What do we have for cargo? We have supplies, luxury wine. Consult the price history feature for known market prices. Rumors. Trade routes blocked. Might this be an opportunity in disguise? You know what? That looks like a fight. Now, I'm not exactly companions. I don't know how this works necessarily. I have no companions and I have no deputies. No available companion. Right, okay, so I have no companions. I wonder where I can get those. Passengers. Travelers turned back from the south. They want to go to Torzag's shelter. I will take them because we're headed there next. Everybody's been talking about it. Okay, the Mancio. I'm pretty interested in this here. So crew details. And I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this rumor. And check the trade news. I don't know what I just did, but it didn't work out too well. Okay, I will be Right back. Okay. So I think we've pretty well done everything we can here. I'm going to check this story. The guarded compound. Okay. The whole compound is crowded with people. Travelers, comitatus crews, vagrants, mercenary warbands, trading house agents, smugglers, prostitutes, thieves, and of course beggars. The largest stone building housing the tavern is filled to the brim with customers, so much so that you cannot get inside for a drink. Luckily, they had the sense to set up a bar outside too, and the kitchens try to serve as many of the clientele as possible. Should you be into Jacra meat steaks or fried horv larvae, that is, the noise and stench of sweat and booze makes you feel like you're in a war camp. Asking around, you hear of several organizations looking for transportation of goods and personnel. So this segment here really reminds me of a very old Super Nintendo game called New Horizons, Uncharted Waters. And you would take your ship, whether you were a trading ship or a combat ship, sail all over the world, but when you would get to ports, you could go right to the bar and have these sorts of interactions with the bar patrons. You could buy everybody around, and try and recruit more crew. You could just chat with the travelers to get rumors. Okay, talk to the agents of factions looking for someone to haul goods and take passengers. Torzag Shelter. Okay, so I already actually did this. I already took those. Oh, maybe I didn't. Several factions are willing to pay you for hauling their cargo and taking some people to Torzag Shelter to the north. There are agents of the trading house trying to cut losses, as well as a bunch of shady fellows, probably smugglers, who promise you that you will not regret them taking their stuff to the great city. Another group, some pilgrims who wanted to reach a shrine in the south, now wish to turn back towards the shelter. Last but not least, there is a company of foreign merchants from the Dragonlands looking for a new market. Whoever you choose, you will not be able to strike a deal with another group, and you will have to make sure that the goods and passengers arrive at their destinations safe and sound. Make a deal with the agents of the trading house. This seems the most kind of in line with our story. The deal is struck fairly quickly. The 3 trade agents of House Darius want you to take them, along with their bodyguards and a sizable cargo of raw obsidian, to Torzag Shelter. As per the agreement, you have to travel to the city without unnecessary delay, and they will add their remaining supplies to your stores when you arrive. You will be handsomely compensated when you reach the shelter's gates. You have 2 empty cargo slots for their goods. I think I have 2. The whole compound is crowded with people. Oh, okay. This is just the expression, the description again of the compound. So eat, drink, chat with travelers. After ordering a mug of mushroom ale and some food, you sit down on a bench under dusty awnings and take a look around. There are all kinds of people here. Ferocious-looking orc mercenaries arm wrestle at a long table nearby, laughing out loud at bawdy jokes. A tainted woman juggling knives with 6 long, 3-jointed arms, intimidating dragonkin warriors in colorful steel armor. Tarkian traders lounging on large pillows around a small, portable table with cups of coffee and a hookah. A dwarf selling scavenged junk from the back of a tumbled-down cart. Even weird insect people you have never seen before, chittering away in their melodious language. There are some other Vagri you can talk to and soon learn the reason for the state of this place. Apparently, the Imperial legions have closed off the only pass through the Cepus Mountains in the south not too long ago, turning back anyone and everyone on both sides. This has plunged the travel plans and business enterprises of many into utter chaos. People suspect that this is a reaction to the strange earthquake several weeks ago and the terrible windstorms that followed. The winds have been crazier than usual ever since, and many people engulfed by them complain about having nightmares and constant headaches. Ask about the winds and the dreams. Ask about the winds and the dreams. A young but uncharacteristically talkative Ashkalite novice has a sizable audience gathered around him as he relates what he has gathered on the topic of the winds that have gone mad. It all started weeks ago with that earthquake. People say that the epicenter was somewhere southwest of here. Since then, the wind is changed. Almost everyone here has had bad dreams, or has heard strange voices in the wind. The further southwest one goes, the more intense it gets. Many of his audience complain about headaches they get ever since they have heard the voices. There is hush talk of travelers going insane and their brains literally burning to a crisp, though such talk is difficult to believe. A small pot-bellied worthy Bandul man, reputedly a spice trader, tells you the tale of his encounter with the soldiers at the pass. Okay, this could be useful, especially if we're headed towards a pass. They told him that a new senatorial decree forbids anyone except military personnel passing through the mountains from either direction due to concerns for their safety. No further explanation was given, and it looks like a small army had joined the garrison at the Twin Towers, the forts guarding the pass. Legionnaires mean business too, pal. The Bandul trader waves his hand dismissively. I don't advise going down there and playing tough. It is clear that the Imperials truly and well shat themselves for some reason, and I doubt they will ever tell you the reason why. The blockade has caused great uproar, and will surely continue to do so when more and more people realize that they are practically cut off from the lands and provinces south. Hardest hit are Vagri, such as yourself, who now have to rethink their destinations entirely. Okay, so we know the legions are going to give us trouble if we try to maybe leave this geographic base in this area. And the blockades, I'm assuming it has to do with the legions. So we got the work. We have eaten, drank, and chatted with the travelers. So let's leave the compound. Back to the market. I have supplies for 9 days. Let's pull the map out and let's see how far away Torzag's shelter is. 3 to 4 days of travel. If we have twice that amount and we get the traders people, the trader people's supplies once we land, I think they'll buff up our numbers sufficiently. Can I check? Maybe Torzag needs something. Maybe I can... Torzag shelter. Maybe this is a trade rumor button. I'm not sure. I can't really. Kernak. Okay, so this is gonna tell me kind of what Right, interesting. So I need to actually go from town to town. I'm not sure if there's any... Chat with travelers. No, do something else. I wasn't sure if there was a way to get any more rumors. Doesn't seem like there's any trade news. You have the latest local news already and have nothing new to share. I don't think we need to rest. Let's leave the settlement. Okay, you are ready to leave Kernak Way Station behind. The people you've agreed to transport, along with their cargo, to Torzog's shelter, eagerly await you at the gate of the compound. Load the cargo and put up the passengers. Plus 16 obsidian. House Darius Traders joins your comitatus. I have no idea where my currency is. I could be... That might be currency. Gold. Copper. Silver? I have no idea. Yeah, it's gotta be. We've got... Ross, Lurg, and Changers. I'm not sure which one's worth more. After your crew loads the cargo, your newcomes take their places along the line and on the carts. They remind you that going anywhere else other than Torzog's shelter renders your agreement null and void. Thank you. Okay. So now where is Torzog's shelter? Can we not see it? Oh, it's way up there, isn't it? Dang. So that's gonna take 9 movement. 6 movement. 8 movement I do not have. Let's do our 6. Now, if I'm out of movement, I wonder if I have to... After their MP runs out. Okay, so movement points are for a whole day. So let's camp. Daily upkeep. All good. Morale is steady. Obedience submissive. I don't think that's bad. Rations 100%. No reason to cut them down. We're not running out. Acquire supplies. Sends out your scouts to hunt. Companions, deputies. I don't have anybody to assign necessarily. Post guards or post guards. Insufficient armed crew. Lower chance of ambush. No bonuses, no penalties. Let's just do the post guards. Let's try and make our first trip to a town fairly uneventful. Vagrus is a difficult game in a variety of ways. One of the most common mistakes you can make is to expand too fast initially, since nothing warns you of the more hidden economical consequences. Instead, focus on faction trade tasks. These will take you to new locations, and by working on them, you can accumulate much-needed money reserves. Many mercenary tasks are extremely difficult for new comitatus. Fighting outlaws or creatures is not an income source in general. Try to avoid conflict whenever you can, unless on an active mercenary task or quest to combat them. You are likely to run into a few death spirals before getting the hang of it, so do not be discouraged if it happens. If you feel that the learning curve is too steep though, we recommend starting a new game in distance mode. Get out of here. I don't need your warnings. Okay, yeah, we have a bit of ways to go. Acquire supplies, really? Five days? We have 5 days? Oh, okay, maybe this is a, maybe this I can send out scouts with movement and stuff. So far, so good. I think I'm out of movement points. Camping again. I think I can afford their upkeep. You've experienced rising disobedience among your involuntary workforce lately. Something is bound to happen when slaves are disgruntled thusly. Thefts are always a sign that morale and discipline are severely impaired in a comitatus. It appears that this has come to pass with you now, as a random inventory item of your goods, or random inventory of your goods reveals that some of your wares have been stolen. Perhaps the perpetrators hid them somewhere, as not even a full search of everyone's belongings reveals them. According to your guards, it must have been the slaves. Excuse me, guards, which one of you robbed me? Either of these options can have a range of unforeseeable consequences. What could be done about your unruly slaves? Very low, very low, very low, very low. Punish them severely. Liberate a slave. Let's try that one. It may cost me more long term, but let's try that one. Your ploy seems to work. They become more docile almost immediately. Okay. Your ploy. Yeah, I mean, sure, I guess you're not a slave anymore. Like, your combs are in a pretty foul mood. Increase your chance of succeeding. Costs 2 resourcefulness. But does my resourcefulness come back at the end of the day? Moderate chance of success. Let's try this. Test success. You managed to avert or prevent the worst things that have come up today. The comitatus trudges on. Annie has died of dysentery. I feel like I'm playing kind of an adult. I mean, it was really adult already. Oregon Trail or Yukon Trail. Yukon Trail was probably my favorite, my preferred. Represents how far you can push your comitatus after their MP runs out. Oh, we can just... No, we can't. Okay, I don't want to push. I don't want to push anybody. Is that what I have been doing? Maybe that's why they're miserable. My bad. Let's see if we can increase their happiness here. Yeah, distressed to steady. We're gonna eat our faces off to get happier. And I keep hitting pay now. I think pay now is the right answer. I don't know that for sure though. If that's my money, we're good. 14, 8, and 6. Bros, Leergs, and Changers. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that, but... Okay. The comitatus is in sight of the nearby settlement, eager to get some well-deserved rest. But what do the people who you took on at Kernak say about all this? They seem happy to have reached their destination. The great Black Blood Mountain towers ahead, crowned with black fortresses and jagged battlements. The single immense wall that blocks entry into the bowels of the mountain looms ahead. Your passengers are making ready to depart, but first they check their cargo. Something is missing. The passengers scold you and start to unload their cargo right away. They tell you that despite you having brought them to Tor's Egg Shelter, they will not pay you because you managed to lose part of their cargo. They also promise that their faction will not look past such a slight. -60. And I didn't get their rations like they promised. That was the worst quest ever. You reach the fortified gates of the great city. After waiting your turn in the line of chatting travelers, bleeding beasts of burden, swearing loaders, exhausted slaves, decrepit pilgrims, and fellow Vagri, you are greeted gruffly by guards under the shadow of the gatehouse. You have nothing to hide, or at least there is no way they can find it. After getting through the inspection, you are told that you now have to pay the gate tax. Pay the gate tax. You head to Amancio immediately. Okay, some passengers part way, thanking your services. Nice. We got a tip. Though the vast caverns and tunnels inside Blackblood Mountain merely gave refuge to war leader Torzog, many centuries passed. The imperial city of... I think that's pronounced Tenebridus for some reason. I'm trying my best here. Or as people... I think the Centurion from For Honor shouts that word. Or as people have been persistently calling it, Torzag's Shelter. That sprung up there following the war managed to transform into one of the most important settlements on the continent. Often referred to as Surgorod's City, the shelter not only houses the Cathedral of the Raging One in its immense, ever-dark caves, but is also a bustling trading settlement in the center of obsidian harvesting in the region. Thousands toil and haggle under its wrought iron chandeliers every day, while servants of the Master of Curses deal out justice in the name of their malevolent god. Inns in the shadow of public buildings, the dark underbelly of the shelter. Market district, temple district. So we're gonna need supplies. I'm not sure. There's 2,000 plus here. So it's one changer. And now I'm not, I don't know which, I don't know if it's on the left or the right, which one is the most valuable, but. Oh, it's per. Dang. Okay, this is gonna get expensive. All right, the 15 is the big number. Wonder if I can shift click this. Oh, I bought them all. I did not. Okay, no, I just bought a stack. Okay, we're good. We're good. I think I can sell this here. For sure I can sell this. How do I sell things? Okay, here we go. Obsidian, sell. 5 lurgs and 3 changers. Is that... I'm not sure if that's a good deal or not. But let's do it. Let's sell them. I'm rich. And luxury wine. I don't know if we can keep that. Like, I don't know if that's something you drink, you can use with your team. I'm going to hang on to it. It's probably just taking up space, but I can kind of live with that. Oh, nice. Owned equipment. Okay, we also have equipment that we can buy. Equipment. Extra storage. Tools. We have no tools. Mining equipment. Oh, that stuff is expensive. Perimeter alarms. Skewers. Bone and obsidian spikes are mounted on the beast's harnesses to deter or skewer attackers. Oh, wow, that's solid. Where do I put that? Mounted on his categories, harnesses, defense, outpost. Okay, so harnesses. Yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome. Arms, navigation, tools, sorcery. I don't think we have anything else. Guard animals, hunting animals. I could use mining equipment, I think. I think I can slap that maybe onto the... But that is extremely expensive. I don't even know if that's worth the investment just yet. Awnings. Stretched over, so, oh, but that has to go where? What does this do? Minus 20 consumption, minus 10% consumption, slave. Ooh, that's tough. Skewers or awnings? Whatever. We'll keep going here. So we have no companions. I'm still not sure how to get companions. I feel like the crew is fine. I don't know that we need. It looks like we have way more than we actually need in terms of a workforce. Now scouts. I also have 5 scouts, 8 fighters. Maybe I will grab. The upkeep goes up, but maybe I'll grab 10 fighters total, and we'll go with maybe 2 scouts is plenty. I think 2 scouts is plenty, and maybe we'll grab 2 more workers here. Okay, we've got way more of a workforce than we need. I wonder if I can get rid of all slaves, if there's any value in that. It would make me a lot of money. It seems like they're causing problems more than they're helping. I could be an entirely paid mercenary trading caravan. Many settlements have faction panes like this one, where you can interact with factions with a presence at the given location. Each faction provides a variety of tasks you can take on. Tasks are procedurally generated, non-story related objectives you can complete for money and reputation with factions. You can take on tasks under the available tab. Each has requirements including faction standing tier, and free cargo space. The active tab is where you can turn in tasks if you're at the right place or discard them. Be mindful that doing so will result in serious penalties. The rewards tab lists all the faction standing rewards you can potentially claim. You are unable to claim rewards if you do not meet the faction standing requirement or the faction's presence in the settlement is too low for the given reward. Note that you can only claim equipment and gear rewards once. Effects can be reclaimed if you lose them due to losing faction standing, but become eligible for them again later on. In this case, any level of the corresponding faction's presence is sufficient. By default, you can take on 1 task from a given faction, but a better standing allows you to take on more. Let me tell you, if you ever want to stream this game, you had better be prepared to read and speak. Okay, so Kernak Way Station, we've come from there. We know where it is. It's close. Now 9 days. So let's just look at some reward here. 9 days of effort, 2 cargo spaces, and we're gonna get 9 bros. 31 days for 11 bros. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I think what we're gonna do is take on a supply run for the Carpenters Guild. Take 30 pottery. You have to pay for missing cargo upon delivery. Okay, and now Devon. Now see, oh, we can't take 2, can we? Okay, 1 at a time, 1 at a time. Okay, we topped up the crew. I'm really thinking about getting rid of slaves. You know what? Let's do it. This is maybe not recommended at all. Oh, okay, no. I'm confused. But they have no upkeep and less consumption, but I won't be able to. Hold on, what if I hire 2 more workers? Okay, more workers. We're going to need to, I think we can almost get rid of them. This also, if you are experienced with this game and you know what you're doing and you're looking at me selling my slaves right now, thinking that I have no idea what I'm up to, you are absolutely correct. Let's buy this rumor. Drusian Quarry, chart location revealed. And I wonder what the trade news is. News refreshed. Torzog's shelter. Rumors. Trade routes blocked. Drusian Quarry. The pawnbroker. Oh, and the man might be able to find... Oh, sweet. Okay, so I can visit this guy in the market district. I completely forgot about that. We took a faction mission. We have supplies. We've loaded up pottery for the carpenters. Let's check what Kernak's way station needed or needs. So if I click this, difference. Oh wow, so we can make some money right there. We can make money on bogweed. Looks like we can make a lot of money on bone. That's a huge turnaround right there, I think. If I just do the full price, since oh, the difference is right there. Okay, so if I buy this stuff, if I buy bogweed. Oh, I was looking at that backwards. I should have purchased bogweed there and brought it here. Okay, what do they have? What do they have? This number up here has to be larger or smaller than this number down here. Wow, basically it looks like the city towards Egg Shelter kind of needs everything from Kernak Way Station. So now that I've got these prices, I should be able to make my way back here. Wow, yeah, there's a lot. Basically everything from Kernak, and you make money on it. Okay. So, not that way, though, unfortunately. But I think we've got everything we need. We have food for 7 days. Maybe I'll grab some more supplies. They have no more supplies. Nice. Oh, actually, I'm full. My cargo's full. It's not that they don't have any more supplies. Supplies! Cultivating a good relationship with certain factions will benefit you in many ways. One of these being special trade offers they provide at the market, but only where the given faction has a presence. You can check if you have access to trade offers on the Faction Details tab on the Leader UI. Higher standing with the faction unlocks better offers. Offers can be for buying and selling. Goods and are always for full stacks. Two prices are given, normal and preferential, with the latter costing you reputation with the faction. These prices are fixed as opposed to dynamic market prices. Okay, let's go back to this and let's go to the market district and see if we can meet the friend. Sprawling over a dozen blocks close to the city gate, the market district is a bustling, crowded place where you can buy and sell almost anything imaginable. Anyone entering the labyrinth of stalls, shops, and bazaars is constantly bombarded by a wide range of strong smells and invaded by the competing shouts of peddlers and salesmen. Seek out Braxius's store. The old man said he could be useful. He looks like Darth Maul. You make your way to part of the market district that lies just east of the Calrish Market. It takes a while to locate the statue of Mercatus overlooking a dried-up fountain, carved of dark stone, but when you do find it, you can see that the shop is indeed right where Agos said it would be. Huddled between two taller, decrepit buildings, Braxius's storefront is not much to look at. Only his name is written on the stone slab above the doorway. No sign, no display, no stall, nothing. Inside is a dark little room with a dirty counter, a strange odor, nondescript trash that barely passes for wares, and a demonkin fellow, fiddling absent-mindedly with some gadget. He looks up as you enter. "What can I do for you?" he says with a ghoulish grin. He can't help it. He has pointed teeth, a big nose, and a crown of jagged horns that not only adorns the top of his head, but also the sides of his jaws. His eyes burn with a pale orange light, and he is surrounded with an almost palpable aura of nervousness. Surely this cannot be the man you were guided to. Are you Braxius? Oh yeah, in the flesh. Braxius bows his head theatrically. You explained to him that an old wanderer called Agos told you to come to him if you wanted to find the right people for Comitatus. Braxius smiles his fiendish smile upon hearing your story. Indeed, I do specialize in connecting such people. I might have someone you will find useful and even help you in getting them to join you. And I owe Agos. So there, everybody wins. Ask him who we can get and what this will cost you. You like Dark Elves? Not a great fan myself, but I gotta say, they tend to be quite resourceful. Like this fellow here, called Renkylon. Renkalon? Renk. A scout, and a very good one at that. I was told that he's looking for a new employer, and a Vagrus such as you would be ideal for him. Perhaps he'll prove to be ideal for you, eh? Funny thing is, I was not able to dig up any dirt on him. Strange. But you know, he is a Dark Elf after all, so that might be trouble enough in itself. When you ask him what you owe him for this, he simply shakes his head. Nothing. Like I said, I owe Agos, and he told me that I can pay him back by aiding people he sends to me. Odd, right? Well, not so much really. At any rate, I can arrange a meeting with Rank for you. Sure. Minutes after you tell Braxius that you wish to meet this Rank, he has closed down shop and is leading you to where you can talk to the man. You soon arrive at a stinking watering hole by the end of an alley, somewhere between the market district and the Undercity. The sign has a feeding carrion bird on it. Underneath, crooked letters spell out the name, The Grinding Gizzard. Bit of a segue here, but I used to play a game called Ultima Online quite frequently. And there was a RP tavern in that game called... Oh my goodness, I just completely... The Brazen Monkey. I always thought that was great, and that's kind of what the Grinding Gizzard reminds me of. You find quite a quiet table in the corner while Braxius gets you a couple of drinks. By the time you finish the first, a man walks up to you without making a sound and greets you. Wrapped in leather armor and worn cloth, the short dark elf stands somewhat aloof in front of you. Is that a hideous scar on his left face he is hiding? Eventually, he offers his hand, as he says almost in a whisper. Salve, Vagrus. I heard that you were hiring people for your Comitatus. I might be interested. Might be. That is, of course, if you want a scout on your crew. Ren here has been all around the continent, working for several Vagri. He's an amazing scout and very experienced fighter. Rank manages a half smile. His faintly gluing blue eyes are without... Did I just say gluing blow? His faintly glowing blue eyes are without pupils, so it is difficult to read him. Braxius is too kind. I try not to disappoint, and I'm sure you have questions before you come to a decision. You do have questions for him. I'm all ears. Yeah, because he's an elf, right? Ask him about... That's all. Time to decide. Ask him about his past. Oh, well... Rex says absentmindedly, what is there to tell? Like the good Braxius mentioned, I've traveled to most places on the continent a sensible person can travel to. Went as far as the Red Desert in the south and the land of endless rain in the north. And of course, I saw things underneath it all you wouldn't believe. I had the luck of working for several renowned Vagri. Calvor the Sable, Sakethma, Ramun Abasi, you may have heard of them. You ask him why a dark elf prefers the surface instead of many underground realms of his people. Ah, that. I've seen a lot of Everdark already. I'm, older than I look. Braxius chuckles quietly. At any rate, there's so much to see here. Why would I want to? Ren's voice fades away. There's a moment of pause. But of course, I would be dishonest if I didn't tell you how I am not very keen on coming across my people. We just don't like each other too much, so there's that. Okay, so don't take him near other dark elves. Skills and abilities. I'm a scout first and foremost. I can also coordinate other scouts if given the chance. Otherwise, I am adept at not being heard and seen, as well as surviving out in the wasteland, as expected. The dark elf smiles faintly. I can also defend myself fine when it comes to a scuffle, though being no warrior, I prefer hanging back, throwing daggers, setting traps, and organizing combined attacks. Ren comes highly recommended, Captain. Braxius chimes in. That's good for me. 3 lurgs. Okay. Not the end of the world. Let's try and haggle this fee though, because we're a merchant, right? Everything is about the haggle. Everything's the discussion. Rank joins your comitatus. Never mind, Vagrus. Rankalon frowns as he rises from his chair. I wish to leave the city and I can forgo the fee. I'll meet you at the Mancio. As far as I'm concerned, we can get the heck out of this town right away. He leaves as you down the rest of your drink. Braxius asks you to return to his shop with him. When you arrive, he turns to you. Now that the Ren business is taken care of, I can help you recruit another fellow. There are 2 options, in fact. Want to hear me out? Hear him out. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay. Back to it. Alright, good. So there are 2 fellows here in Torzag that I could put you in contact with. Both have their own problems, so to say, that they're trying to solve. I can, help you solve their problems for them. One, that is. I mean, I can help you with one of the 2, and you'll owe me for this. You ask them about the 2 individuals in question. One is a dwarf, and a particularly nasty one. But don't you get discouraged. Given the right motivation, all the nastiness can be directed towards your foes, Captain. He's a specialist when it comes to dwarfy stuff. You know, scrounging, smuggling, hoarding, business in general. And he's connected, and he knows a lot of people in low places. The Demonkin pawnbroker scratches the base of a horn before going on. The other one is an orc, and a tough one. He's somewhat of a celebrity around these parts, won a few gladiator tournaments years ago. But then he started to train folks who wanted to become warriors, rather than warrioring around himself. And I guess now he's fed up with that, and wants to travel and fight again. A real champ, you know? Express your interest in the... That's tough. I'm really not interested in the black market necessarily, so let's go with the orc. Good, good. As I've said, Gorgoro is an orc, and as you'd expect, quite a warrior. Somewhat a celebrity in the city, even though, according to him, his gladiator days are behind him now. However, one of his associates got himself into some kind of trouble with powerful people, and now he has to answer for it. Since the guy is technically a Lanista, he was given... What? Lanistas are owners and trainers of gladiators, but in the 4th Age, the term is specifically used for people who become professional gladiator managers. Most of them are not of noble birth, as aristocrats rarely need to engage in the career of a Lanista, in spite of often owning gladiators. Instead, they hire Lanistas to handle their stock. However, Most gladiator managers strive to remain independent. They typically own anywhere between 1 and dozens of gladiators. Successful Lenistas are famous people who travel around at least a province and participate in seasonal and ad hoc arena games, which are considered one of the most popular forms. Okay, we get it. A Lenista, gladiator owner. 268 entries to read. Whoever made this game wrote a book, legitimately. Okay. Since the guy's technically a Lenista, he was given the opportunity to field a couple of gladiators against the gladiators of his accusers, and should he win, clear his name. However, he himself cannot step into the arena, and only Gorgoro stepped up to defend him, meaning they are 2 gladiators short. But I can get 2 fellows to round out the team. You win the fight using them, and thereby make Gorgoro indebted to you. He wanted to leave Torzag's anyways, and you would owe me a favor, as I've indicated. Yeah, let's do it. Now we're talking, Captain. The pawnbroker claps excitedly. Alright, you just go about your business now. I need an hour or so to get things done. When you feel like it afterward, make your way to Dryas's Gladiator School here in the Market District. It's in the southwest corner. Talk to Dryas and Gorgoro and offer them 2 gladiators for the upcoming match. When they ask you why you do this, simply say that you want to recruit Gorgoro before you leave the city. Then you only have to win the match. The 2 fighters I'm getting you will show up by then. I believe that the orc will need little convincing to join your crew after that. You nod and prepare to take your leave, thanking Braxius for his aid. Don't thank me yet, Captain, and before you forget, you'll owe me, and a day will come when I need your aid. He winks and sits down behind the counter. You are out of the shop and on the street again. Okay, so I have to go back to the market district. We haven't been everywhere yet. Forever in the twilight of the gigantic cavern, and lit sparingly by huge iron lamps, Torzag's shelter is a bustling city of many opportunities and perils. One can find all sorts of interesting things if one looks. Upon returning to the Mancio, you learn that 2 of your fighters were taken by drafting soldiers while out in the city for a few drinks. With the constant wars in the north, it is sometimes easy to get press-ganged in this way in cities of the Upper Empire. But you've never heard about anyone grabbed in this way so far down south. Perhaps the situation is more dire than the authorities claim. At any rate, you could make an attempt to get your men back if you seek out the recruitment office. Try to free your men from the draft. The recruitment office is a dire place, a squat building of dark stone right next to one of the several barracks of the city. Many draftees linger here. Oh, I should be able to do this. It will not be simple to get your men back, but there might be a few things you can try. Very traitorish to bribe them, but I can probably up my chances here a couple times. How much resourcefulness do I have left? No. What? Why did it go to very low? Low? Oh, very low is only... That's as high as I can get it. I'll just bribe them. We'll bribe them. We'll bump this one up with... That doesn't help at all, eh? Okay, bribe them. I lost a lurg. It was worth it. It works. The official... Work it. No, it works. The officials let your 2 fighters go after informing you that the reason they were drafted is that they were drunk and caused some kind of ruckus. Of course, your guys deny having done anything of this sort. Okay, so visit Braxius at his store. No, visit Dryas's compound. We need to listen to news and rumors first. Spread some coin to fish for news. Oof. There are quite a few interesting things you pick up. Quality added, Braxius aid. Quality added, indebted to Braxius. News refreshed. Very old and distant news. Okay. Visit Dryas's compound. The compound that houses the gladiator school of Dryas is in the southwest end of the market district, a fairly scarcely populated part of the city. Huddled between dilapidated houses, the sturdy buildings of the school are surrounded by a tall stone fence. One would expect to hear commands shouted at the trainees or the clamor of practice weapons, but there is only silence. Standing at the single entrance gate to the compound, you can see that you will be able to enter the main hall unhindered. You walk into the atrium that serves as the main hall and call out loud if anyone is there. In the poor light provided by a few braziers and twinkling crystal lamps, you notice a man enter and walk slowly towards you. Braziers? Maybe it's braziers. Salve, he says without enthusiasm. I'm afraid I cannot help you. The school is all but closed, permanently. The man is wearing leather armor in the imperial style, complete with a gladius and a pugio hanging from his belt. His bitter face is framed by balding hair turning gray. This must be Dryas, the school's owner. A large shadow appears in one of the archways. You cannot see the person it belongs to, only feel the intimidating presence. Inquire what happened to school. I'm sorry, it's just that I've told this story so many times. Recently, it's slowly getting to me. In short, we had an unfortunate incident in which one of my trainees got hurt. The son of an influential man, a Tarkian diplomat who has the ear of some of the city's leaders. The man is out for revenge, even though his son made the mistake, not the school. Now he's out to destroy me. The instructors have left. I paid exploitative fines several times. I lost most of my trainees. You can feel the gaze of the shadowy figure pierce you. Even though, Dryas says, sitting down on a stone bench, I was given a chance to clear my name, I would have had to win a gladiatorial match without gladiators. Not entirely without gladiators, the voice growls from the shadows. You watch as a huge orc stalks into the atrium and leans against a pillar. This is Gorgoro, a good friend of mine. Dryas indicates the orc. Who sent you here? The large warrior asks you coolly. Have you come to gloat? To offer a laughable price for the school? You tell him you have no such intentions. You are a Vagrus who heard of Dryas' unfortunate predicament. Ah well, you've got to forgive Gorgoro here. He is very protective of his friends. The instructor tells you. As you can see, we are in no position to be of any service right now, so if you'd excuse us. You inform the surprised Dryas and Gorgoro that you have two fighters who can step into the arena alongside Gorgoro. In exchange, you ask the orc warrior to work for you. It takes only the exchange of a few hushed words between these two before Gorgoro accepts. I was about to leave the city anyways, and I would be honored to work for you, Vagrus. Accept Gorgoro's offer and pledge yourself to help them. Right, Dryas shakes your hand. Now I'll go set up the match with those bastards. I'll need you to be at the Hortius Gertus fighting pit the next morning. It's where the Legio March Avenue crosses Vagrus Square. Make sure your fighters are well rested too. We'll have a rough morning. Gorgoro slaps you on the back as he walks out of the atrium with a grin. Okay, you leave to spend the rest of the day preparing for a fight. We're gonna go with nutrition, sustained, maybe well-fed. We don't have a lot of supplies though. 7 days at well-fed. Sleep on the stable floor. This is not inexpensive, but we're going as enjoy all the hospitality. +2 morale, +2 nutrition. That's very expensive. We'll just go with a good night's sleep in the Mancio's rooms. And we have this guy ready to rock. Okay, end day. The next morning, you arrive at the agreed upon place. Dryas and Gorgoro are already there. The Hortius Gertus fighting pit is a small arena built of gray stone where the Legio March Avenue crosses Vagrus Square. It's an old building, even somewhat crumbling. The stage has seen its heyday before the larger coliseums were built in the city and claimed the crowds. The date is used for small matches. District fighters compete for local recognition, and some executions are conducted by the pit fighters. And of course, altercations like Dryas's are settled here as well. It's a chill morning. Dryas and Gorgoro were standing at the entrance arch and greet you curtly. The orc is brimming with energy, but the instructor looks like he hasn't slept at all. You are here, Dryas says, and you catch a hint of admiration in his voice. I am honored. Let's do this. You all enter the building. After entering through the gate arch and following the others down some dark corridors, you ascend a set of stairs and arrive at the premium seat box. That is where you meet Praetor Paulus Antius. The small, aging magistrate sits in his high-backed chair with a bored expression, wrapped in furs against the chill air. Overseeing this matter is clearly a great inconvenience for him. A tall, thin fellow in a turban, colorful clothes, and expensive jewelry is buzzing around the praetor, whispering in his ear constantly. This must be the man who Dryas has wronged and now has to face. The instructor walks up to them while Gorgoro and you stay back. He speaks to them briefly, and you can see both the indifference on the face of the praetor and the contempt on the face of the Tarkian diplomat. Then you spot a boy of 10 or 12 in Tarkian garb standing behind the row of chairs. His left eye and forehead are bandaged. He is holding the hand of a little girl with shaggy brown hair and large eyes. Dryas walks over to the little girl, kneels down and hugs her. She says something to him and strokes his rough face. His daughter, Gorgoro, growls in a low voice. You can feel his seething rage. She was taken by the praetor until the matter is resolved, as leverage. You accompany Dryas and Gorgoro below to the preparation hall. Let's just remember that the tooltip said for me to avoid combat at all costs. So, this might not go well. You accompany Dryas and Gorgoro below. You descend into the cavernous hall where gladiators and pit fighters prepare for their fights. Faded training dummies, broken practice weapons, and discarded fighting gear clutters the room. An archway to the right is closed by a portcullis, but beyond, the filthy sand of the arena is clearly visible. If you don't know what a portcullis is, it is that iron gate, kind of that looked like a steel lattice that would come down kind of behind a drawbridge. Think of a castle, and the drawbridge would come up. The portcullis was that steel gate that they would also close right behind that. The two fighters Braxius sent are no joke. They look more like thugs, but everything about them, their posture, gaze, cruel weapons, tells a tale of brutality, and that is just what you need now. You exchange words with them, and they assure you they will follow Gorgoro's lead. Dryas goes on preparing Gorgoro, but the orc shoots down his attempts at coaching him quickly. Remember how I'm tournament of the champion of the tournaments, buddy? The warrior grins. I can see that you're upset, but let me do what I do best. I promise you we'll get her back. You're ready. Let's let the fight in the arena commence. That's what we've been waiting all night for. You and Dryas take your places at the gate to be able to see everything. Your fighters walk into the arena led by snarling Gorgoro. He raises his terrifying battle axe high as the audience cheers him. The Tarkian diplomat is shouting angrily at his hired fighters from the seat box. Praetor gives a signal while suppressing a yawn, and the fight commences. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. So who's first here? Leorak. It looks like Lorak's turn. Lorax. Rigorous jab. Hamstring. If I can immobilize this guy. Okay, he blocked it. Disregard. Akru Bone Grinder. What do we have? Bull Rush. Smack. Sap. Which is a stun. I really want to stun one of them. Oh, maybe he's got a helmet and he can't be stunned. It looks like one of my guys is almost dead. That's not great. 1 damage. We are on the losing side of this fight. First one is Gorgoro, so taunt minus 30 damage, minus 30 accuracy. And they will attack him. So let's do that to the front line. Murmillo Gladiator fails mind resist. Okay, so he's got terrible damage, terrible accuracy. And if we can immobilize anybody. Oh, nice. Immobilize for 2 rounds. So that's pretty cool. It kind of tells you the back and forth. Ogre Bone Grinder. We're gonna Bull Rush and so that didn't knock him back at all. Surprisingly, I expected him to go back a tile. Minus 1 armor. I think we're just gonna focus all of our efforts on the front guy. Minus 1 armor. Awesome. I don't know if these... Okay, it does. It shows kind of their negative modifiers and these shield symbols beneath them. Move to an adjacent position. Now we're just going all in here. Let's hit maybe... Now let's hit this guy. We'll take advantage of the guy with all the debuffs. I'm gonna keep trying to immobilize. Maybe the throwing guy would. I don't know if immobilize will work. Right? Does immobilize prevent him from throwing, or just prevent him from moving if he's a frontline melee? Oh, dang! Did he? Oh, I killed the guy that... Okay, we killed the guy on top and the guy who took his place. So somebody must always have to be front and center. Now they're completely out of action points. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know. Maybe we can only use normal attacks. That guy is super dead. Not that it matters. He's not really part of the team, but it's interesting that they moved. The spear looks like it can kind of attack, not just adjacent, but on a diagonal as well. Get that one. The enemy gladiators lie on the sands, bloodied, defeated, but alive. The crowd is chanting Gorgoro's name in a frenzy. There is no more dispute, no more question about Dryas' honor. You won. The instructor is beyond himself with joy. He hugs Gorgoro so hard when the fighters return to the preparation hall that you think he'll break the bones of the huge orc, and then he hops over to you and shakes your hand, apologizing for his glee. He rushes up to the seat box to hear the Praetor's official statement and to get his daughter back. In half an hour after you had sent Braxius' men away, you, your companions, Gorgoro, Dryas, and his daughter are walking back to his school. As you get there, Dryas turns to you. I won't forget this, Vagrus. I can now try to rebuild the school, and perhaps you could drop by sometime. He shakes your hand. The little girl waves at you, and they go in. I'm a man of my word, Gorgoro tells you, and I'm ready to leave the city in an hour. I'll find you at your berth, Vagrus, right after I said goodbye here. You return to the Mancia where the orc joins you shortly. He joins the Comitatus. Okay. We are going to call it here. Awesome stream. Awesome game. It's a lot of reading. If you're catching this video later, or if you stuck around to listen to my dulcet tones, let me know in the comments what you thought about this game. I really enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. I really enjoy narrative games. I like the whole... I can't even imagine how much is written in this game, given all the little cities and dots I saw and how large the world map was. The fact that it's just kind of open-ended with how you can play and how you can interact. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how there's, you know, kind of an end to this much game. So if you like this sort of format of stream and game style, the narrative game, let me know. I'd appreciate some feedback on that. Anyways, we're gonna save it here. Our first blind playthrough ever of Vagrus, the Riven Realms, or Vagrus. Day 5. Not looking too bad. We've got quite a bit of money, I think. I mean, maybe it's terrible, but I feel like we're doing okay. Luxury wine, still don't know what that's about. Maybe we'll sell it. Maybe we'll look for where it sells for more. We've got some pottery. We've got a goal to head down south back to Kernak Basin. And we picked up 2 companions, Renkalan and Gorgoro. So I'm willing to bet we can even hit these guys with a little bit of gear. Anyways, take care, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out, and